High in the mountains, overlooking a vast valley cloaked in pine and mist, there stands a forgotten sentinel of science. The abandoned Ashridge Observatory perches like a crow on the edge of a crumbling cliff. Silhouetted against the endless sky it once sought to understand. Its dome is rusted and askew, its walls a patchwork of peeling paint and ivy. Windows gape open like hollow eyes, blind to the world, yet full of unseen purpose. I had heard of it in passing, a whisper in an old forum thread dedicated to urban exploration stories exchanged late at night in pixels and paranoia. They said Ashridge was haunted, not by malevolence, but by grief, a sadness so thick it settled into the walls like dust. The legend tells of Dr. Alistair Crane, a brilliant yet reclusive astronomer who once operated this observatory in the early 20th century, a man both admired and feared for his intellect and intensity. Some say he went mad, others that he vanished during a celestial event that no one could explain. But the details are murky, twisted over time like constellations seen through warped glass. Today I've come to uncover the truth behind the rumors, not as a thrill seeker, but as a documentarian of the unexplained. My gear's minimal: a camera, flashlight, notebook, and a small voice recorder I keep clipped to my jacket. The path leading up here was half-eaten by the forest and steep enough to test your lungs. The air is thin, tinged with pine sap and something metallic I can't quite name. As I stand before the locked gate, rusted through and clinging to the stone archway by sheer stubbornness, I hesitate, not because I'm afraid of ghosts, because I'm afraid the legend might not be a legend at all. Inside, the observatory groans under the weight of time, the floorboards creaked with suspicion. Every door I push open exhales the scent of old paper, oxidized metal, and mildew. I start with the main hall, an elongated corridor lined with dusty framed photos, their contents barely visible behind cracked glass. One stands out, a portrait of Dr. Alistair Crane. He stands beside a large telescope, the kind built before automation. His beard is short, his expression intense. There's something unsettling in his gaze, a depth, like he's already seen too much. The caption reads, Dr. Crane, 1923, director of Ashridge Observatory. Through newspaper clippings and scattered journal entries I'd uncovered prior to this trip, I knew Crane was once celebrated for cataloging anomalous star patterns and strange bursts of cosmic radiation. His obsession with the night sky grew over time, so much that he reportedly slept in the observatory, rarely descending into town. Then, in October of 1930, during what was described as a rare convergence of celestial bodies, Dr. Crane vanished. A groundskeeper discovered his telescope still pointed at the night sky. His teacup shattered near his logbook, ink frozen mid-sentence. There were no signs of a struggle, no body, just silence. The locals began to speak of strange noises in the woods that night, lights flashing from the dome, a low hum that vibrated through the valley like a tuning fork. Soon, rumors of his ghost took root. Sightings of a man in a lab coat pacing the dome, distant voices echoing through the structure, and clocks that would all stop at 2:17 a.m. I switch on my recorder. Day 1, entered Ashridge. Interior structurally unstable but accessible. Observed framed photo of Dr. Crane. Feeling unsettled. The static that answers me is sharper than it should be. I make my way through what remains of the control room. Rusted machinery and analog dials fill the space. A shattered projector sits in the corner, glass strewn like constellations across the floor. On the main desk lies an artifact I didn't expect to find: Crane's final logbook. The ink has bled through much of the paper, but with a careful touch and some light, I managed to read entries near the back. Sept. 25. The signal returned again. Not radio, not interference. It speaks in pulses. Oct 1. I can hear it now, not with ears. It vibrates the bones. There's a pattern, but not man-made. October 12th. It wants me to see. No sleep, no hunger. The stars are wrong. They're wrong. I flip ahead. October 14th. The alignment begins tonight. If I vanish, let this serve as my confession. I was not mad. I was listening. The rest is an ink smear. I ascend the spiral staircase too. The dome, it groans with each step. The telescope looms above like a cannon aimed at heaven. Cobwebs veil its eyepiece. Dust motes drift in shafts of light, then I hear it. A soft, persistent tapping, coming from inside the dome. My breath catches. The door behind me creaks closed on its own. I whip around. Nothing there. I test the knob. Locked. The tapping grows louder. Morse code. I raise my recorder again. Unexplained sounds in the dome. Tapping consistent. Investigating. Then a voice crackles through the recorder speaker. But I hadn't pressed play. ... Don't look directly at it. ... I nearly dropped the device. Static washes over it. I try to rewind, but the battery is already drained. The telescope shifts. On its own, it swings slowly until it aims due north at a patch of sky that, even in daytime, seems darker than the rest. I peek through the eyepiece. Blackness. Then ... Something blinks back. I don't sleep that night. I pitch a small tent just outside the observatory. Too rattled to remain inside. But even outdoors, sleep refuses me. The forest is too quiet, as if nature itself is holding its breath. In the morning, I hike down to the nearby ranger station. An older man named Elijah greets me with suspicion and a pot of stale coffee. When I mention Ashridge, he pales. "You went up there alone?" he asks. I nod. He shakes his head. Dr. Crane was a good man, but he dug too deep. No, he was chasing something no one else could see. The night he disappeared, my father was one of the first on the scene. Said it felt like walking into a place that had been ... hollowed out. Like something took him. I ask about the tapping. Elijah looks away. Used to be people claimed they heard tapping on their windows after visiting. Like he followed them home. Back at the observatory, I examined the telescope. More closely, there are fine scratches around its base. A message carved crudely. ITCs who looks backy descend into the basement for the first time. It smells of rust and something else, burnt ozone. I find crates of old data tapes, reels of photographic negatives, and one last reel of film. I crank the projector to life. The footage is silent. Dr. Crane stands at the telescope, frantically jotting notes. Then he pauses, steps away, and stares at the camera. His eyes are wild. He raises a hand and mouths something. Frame by frame, I mouth the words along. Turn ... off. The tape ends with a blinding white frame that lingers far too long. That night, I dream of a sky without stars. Just one massive black circle. Watching, I left Ashridge Observatory the next morning. The air seemed thicker, harder to breathe, as if the mountain itself didn't want to let me go. Back home, I reviewed the footage I had taken. Much of it was distorted, audio warped. My voice echoed back with words I never spoke. The clearest segment. The portrait of Dr. Crane, except now. In the frame, his eyes are open. They weren't before. I tried to reach out to archivists and astronomers to validate his findings or the celestial alignment he described. No records exist. Like something scrubbed it all away. Yet I know what I saw and what saw me. The observatory remains locked. It's a relic of a pursuit that went too far. Some say science and faith are separate, but up there I saw what lies between, something old. Presence that does not sleep and does not blink. The locals still speak of Crane in hushed tones. They say his ghost walks the dome, forever watching the sky, waiting for the alignment to return. Me? I don't believe in ghosts, but I believe in echoes, and the sky is full of them.